Good morning, FCF. We are in day 7 now in our journey of looking at the life of Abraham. And we come to a portion of Scripture today. Boy, this is a rough one. I'm going to just refresh your mind. When Abraham was first called in Genesis 12, he takes along with him his nephew Lot. Then they separated, and Lot moves into the wicked cities of Sodom and Gomorrah because it looked like they were, better land, have more prosperity and so forth. Anyway, it's years later now. It's over 25 years later, and Sodom and Gomorrah have come to a place where their evil has become so dangerous to society that God literally has to intervene to stop the cancerous spread of their evil from going on. So I'm going to read to you in Genesis 18. This is that same passage where the Lord and 2 angels come to Abraham's tent. He gives them a meal. This is where that promise that Sarah will 9 months later have a child, and she laughed, and the Lord caught her in the laugh, that whole scene. But this is later, after that, after the Lord had called Sarah down. Verse 15, it says, Sarah was afraid, so she lied and said, I did not laugh. But he, meaning the Lord, said, yes, you did laugh. So after that verse 16, when the men got up to leave, by the way, the men, they looked like men. The Lord looked like a man. It was Christ before he came to earth, 2,000 years before he came to earth. But these men, we later learn, are angels. Angels can look just like humans, okay? That's really important to, have in our minds. And when the men got up to leave, they looked down towards Sodom, and Abraham walked along with them to see them on their way. Then the Lord said, shall I hide from Abraham what I am about to do? Abraham will surely become a great and a powerful nation, and all nations on earth will be blessed through him. For I have chosen him so that he will direct his children and his household after him to keep the way of the Lord by doing what is right and just, so that the Lord will bring about for Abraham what he has promised. Then the Lord said, the outcry against Sodom and Gomorrah is so great and their sin so grievous that I will go down and see if what they say or what they have done is as bad as the outcry that has reached me. If not, I will know. The men turned away and went towards Sodom, but Abraham remained standing before the Lord. Then Abraham approached him and said, will you sweep away the righteous with the wicked? What if there are 50 righteous people in the city? Will you really sweep it away and not spare the place for the sake of the 50 righteous people in it? Far be it from you to do such a thing, to kill the righteous with the wicked, treating the righteous and the wicked alike. Far be it from you. Will not the judge of all the earth do right? Now mind you, Abraham knew his nephew Lot was in Sodom. Then the Lord said, verse 26, if I find 50 righteous people in the city of Sodom, I will spare the whole place for their sake. Then Abraham spoke up again, now that I have been so bold as to speak to the Lord, though I am nothing but dust and ashes, what if the number of the righteous is 5 less than 50? Will you destroy the whole city because of 5 people? If I find 45 there, he said, I will not destroy it. Once again he spoke to him, what if only 40 are found there? He said, for the sake of 40, I will not do it. Then he said, may the Lord not be angry, but let me speak. What if only 30 can be found there? He answered, I will not do it if I find 30 there. Abraham said, now that I have been so bold as to speak to the Lord, what if only 20 can be found there? The Lord said, for the sake of 20, I will not destroy it. Then he said, may the Lord not be angry, but let me speak just once more. What if only 10 can be found there? He answered, for the sake of 10, I will not destroy it. When the Lord had finished speaking with Abraham, he left and he returned home. Now, I'll urge you to read the next chapter, chapter 19, on your own, and you'll see what an evil place Sodom had become, and you'll see that the destruction there was inevitable. It was a necessary thing. The kind of poison, the kind of cancer they were spreading in society would have derailed a lot of God's intentions for the rest of the world. So this was an unusual early development. But the point that I want you to see is this. The Lord knew, He knew what was going on in Sodom. He knew what the condition was. But He went through this exchange with Abraham. Why do you suppose He did this? I can tell you, folks, the Lord was delighted to see that Abraham's heart was becoming like the Lord's heart. The Lord never wants to destroy anyone. And if there's any alternative, if there's any hope, it doesn't happen. So he allows Abraham to experience God's own aching soul for the death of the unrighteous, for those that are unreachable. And he lets Abraham develop this spirit of intercession, this concern for others, where he's pleading for others for the sake of his own nephew. And God was delighting in this. And the Lord will do this with you and I. He will bring us into places of prayer for people, for situations. Certainly He works through our prayer. He's working in us, but primarily He's developing something in us. He's allowing us to see what His own heart feels like. And He wants us to have the same kind of a spirit of intercession, a desire to rescue if anybody is rescuable, to do whatever it takes to save someone if it's possible to save them. So it's a beautiful scene, and it's a kind of a funny scene too with Abraham, the way he just keeps going 50, 45, 40, 30, 20, and then 10. And God patiently taking him through that process. I hope you found this a blessing. Your